Warning, these last 2 episodes were extremely freaking boring. In my attempt to compensate for the lack of on-screen entertainment, please expect extra corny jokes, decreased oh my golly wallies, and reenactments no one asked for. Viewer discretion is advised.
But one thing I will not be joking about is you, Trevor. You know, you got a lot of freaking nerve. We'll get to Wreck-It Ralph. All right, welcome to Tate's Take. If you're new here, today I'm breaking down episodes 10 and 11 of the new season of Love is Blind. And that's all I've seen up to, but I'm gonna be talking about them like you've seen them too. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Tate's Takers, look, I normally try to just break down the episodes and just the episodes and pretty much ignore what's happening in social media. This season has done gone too far, so if you stay to the end of the video, I'm gonna be breaking down all the little bits of tea that I have available to me at this very moment. Who knows what could happen tomorrow after I finish filming this video, then I gotta come on here and make a new apology video for my apology video. But no, we'll get there. Boom, episode 10. This one's called What Could Have Been. We start out with Jeremy talking to his mom, Janine, and he's letting her know about Lost and Found Gate. Basically lets her know, like, look, I kind of messed things up with Laura. I went out and I got home at 5 a.m. This moron's still wearing that damn hat. He says that nothing inappropriate happened. They talked for a long ass time, then he drove her home. And he says that he explained this whole sequence of events to Laura. Did he? Now I have no reason not to believe his story. But even his mom was like, nope, couldn't have been me. If you got home at 5 a.m., I'll have been sitting at the door right there ready to fight. All right, we're out of there. Over to Amy and Johnny getting their IKEA on. I swear Netflix just shows them doing the most random stuff just to remind us they're still on the show. Oh, hey doggy. Then we go to Chelsea and Jimmy. She's finally gonna meet his family. And they sure were taking their time on that rant, weren't they? Respectfully, this gotta be the country's family of the whole season. I don't even know how Netflix got away without putting the closed captions on them. Anyway, Jimmy tells his family, like, yeah, we had a couple fights, but nothing too crazy. Chelsea jumps in like, babe, I don't even think they were even fights. Girl, well, at least they're not fighting in front of their family like I'd be complaining about. Netflix might have never seen anything as country as this because they just zooming in on all sorts of shit. Got the dad out here looking crazy.
I said, oh, jump scare.
All right, I'm just pulling teeth for content here. What else did I write? These people got some strong ass genes. Been married for 43 years. She was a pack rat. All right, we're out of here. Over to AD and Clay, and he's meeting her mom, Jacqueline. And I'll be remiss if I didn't say that this woman looks like the mom from I Love New York. I think I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that it looked like she was ready to risk it all for this young man. Sheesh, Jacqueline, pull yourself together. She about to be in there like, you know, AD don't got no job, right? Just kidding. Also, did I ever mention that Clay never stops talking? Anyway, Clay tells AD's mom that they connected on entrepreneurship. I thought she worked at the club. Her mom asks Clay, what do you think about getting married? He's like, I always wanted to get married. But it wouldn't be Clay if he didn't talk about his parents' divorce. But AD's mom ain't new to this. She's freaking true to this. She calls him out for self-sabotaging. Overall, though, I think she really liked him. Looks like we got another positive mom for the Love is Blind books. Honestly, Love is Blind done fell off so crazy, especially with all this drama that we're going to talk about at the end of the video. But the parents have always been like a pillar of success in the show. So what about a dating show where it's just parents meeting parents and you got to date who your parents choose based on what their parents said about their kid? I'm calling it parental advisory. Just an idea. Anyway, AD's mom tells AD she's so proud of her for falling in love sight unseen because she knows she has kind of a propensity to fall for the wrong guys. In record time, AD's like, yeah, but ain't he hot? Some things never change. I don't know. One possible red flag is that AD's mom thinks that Clay could be the one because AD has never said that she's willing to follow a man until Clay. But like, what does that mean, follow? Why does a woman have to follow her husband? Like, what does that really mean? Okay, next parent meetup. We got Amy and Johnny, and Johnny's about to meet her dad. Now, if you've been paying attention this whole season, you know that Netflix has been trying to tell us that Amy's dad is like the Incredible Hulk who doesn't believe in this Love is Blind thing. and that when he sees Johnny, he's just gonna... No, nothing of the sort. Now, does he sit down and get right to the important questions, like about family and career? Yes. And does he also look like a younger version of the old nigga from Up? Also yes. Anyway, the point is, all that fluff was for nothing. Johnny asks for his permission to marry his daughter, and this dude says yes. And he seems to be a very nice dude. Another, like I said, the parents be parenting on this show. It's just the kids that are so dumb. Next up, we have the most annoying fight of the whole season. Of course, that means we're with Chelsea and Jimmy. She's mad that this dude went to a birthday party for I think about 7 or 8 minutes. He asked her if she wanted to go. She says, no, you know I don't like to be outside like that. I like to be in the house. But also he's in trouble for not asking her to go to the party. And also he's in trouble because he went and because she's boring. Chelsea's telling him like, oh, Mackenzie saw you out. At this point, it's all drunk talk. And I don't even think they showed her taking one drink. But if there's anything I know, it's drunk talk. Chelsea's like, where do you even go when you're going out? What do you even do when you say you're at work? Who do you even text when you're texting? What do you really be doing when you say you're going to brush your teeth? Do you even floss? Girl, nobody flosses. Anyway, this is where we get to that infamous scene where she's shouting at him like we saw in the trailer. And again, another bait and switch from the good folks at Netflix. They wanted us to believe that he went off and smashed Jessica to high heaven. Nope, Chelsea done brought up the fact that Jimmy did indeed smash one of his 2 girlfriends that he's only known for 2 years. Now, was this something we all suspected last week? Yes, but was it messed up for Chelsea to expose him for something that he told her in private, off camera, and asked her not to share, and she did anyway? Also yes. I'm sure there's gonna be people out there like, what the hell? Why can't she talk about who her fiance hooked up with? Sure, but this is not a one-on-one conversation. This is her basically talking to the whole world. So there is a universe where he wanted to tell his fiance in a moment of transparency, while at the same time not exposing his friend's business all over Netflix. But Chelsea's drunk and she don't give a fuck about none of that shit. He's like, look, I went out with my frat brothers, I was gone for an hour, and now I'm back home. Drunk Chelsea has not left the chat. She's like, who were you with last night? Because I know it was Jess. This dude Jimmy's looking like, girl, if I was with Jess last night, I'll still be with Jess right now. Drunk Chelsea's like, just tell me the truth. I know you were with Jess last night. Jimmy's like, I haven't even seen Jess yet. Drunk Chelsea's like, well, I heard it was Jess. Anyway, this drunken tirade goes on for what feels like 40 days and 40 nights. It basically winds down when Jimmy says, do you think that I really love you? Drunk Chelsea says, I don't know. Damn. Jimmy says, then it's not gonna work. And I gotta show you this part real quick. Netflix, just relax. You know this is important. Does he say Chelsea or Jessica?
I don't know. It's not gonna work, Chelsea. Okay.
The closed caption says Chelsea, but they could be just trying to clean up for him. I'm just reaching for content. Also, high key, I ain't no doctor or professional, but I think Chelsea might actually have a drinking problem. And I ain't trying to be like one of those hotline things, but if you or someone you know gets wasted off dirty martinis and then starts accusing their fiance of spending too much time at birthday parties, just call 1-800-STOP NOW. Finally, moving on to AD and Clay, fake working in the background. Also, this is completely unsolicited. No one ever asked me this and nobody ever will ask me this, but why does AD put those fake lashes on? Now, I know this is not my place to speak on it, and I'm just doing it anyway, just speaking on it, where I even just said right there, it's not my place to speak on it, but her eyelashes look just fine and normal here. I ain't trying to go all JP on this, but it's just my 2 cents. Anyway, I guess the point of this scene is the same as any other scene with Clay in it. Him just talking through the fact that he's not sure he could be a good husband. And he doesn't seem to want to rush into the ceremony, which is part of Love is Blind. You can't really change when the ceremony is, but I guess he's saying maybe he want to say no at the altar, but like also stay with her. AD's whole thing is like, she ain't trying to be a long-term fiance, which, what's worse, being a long-term fiance or a divorcee? Which one do you want? Apparently this guy Clay's been watching a whole bunch of past seasons of Love is Blind, and he's thinking that these other guys were more mature and ready to get married than he was. I don't even know what season he could have been watching. And I guess that leads into another point that Sharonda from Pay Away always brings up, that there should be a therapy component to the show. And I don't even know if you need to do all that, but like if you just had past couples from other seasons come and talk to the couples of this season just to provide a little guidance or a little counsel, I think it could go a long way. Like many reality shows have done this in the past. The blueprint is already there. Like imagine if Brett and Tiffany from season 4 got assigned to work with Clay and AD. Clay thinks black men that don't cheat are unicorns. Boom, here go a unicorn, Clay. His name is Brett. Brett, can you talk to this dude? And Tiffany, can you tell AD to wake up and smell the self-worth? Something like that in future seasons could really elevate the show. Also, like if anybody at Netflix or Kinetic would do like a background check on pretty much anybody that's going on the show, like at least to find out if they're not already married or like with girlfriends or boyfriends. Just those tweaks, just those couple little tweaks, then this show could be a show. What do I know? Okay, I apologize in advance, but we have to go back to Chelsea and Jimmy. I know. And speaking of Chelsea, isn't this girl a flight attendant? Has she taken a flight since they've been home? Probably grounded her ass for taking those little bottles of whiskey home. Just kidding. High key though, Chelsea waking up a day after one of her martini meltdowns is kind of like Jim Carrey waking up after a night wearing the mask. He kind of just got to ask people like, what destruction did I cause? She walks in like,
Hey, how y'all doing?
Anyway, Jimmy's getting all serious and I'm like, oh snap, he's about to break up with this girl. He's like, I took you to meet my parents. We came home and had our biggest fight yet. I had to go on a 4-mile walk. About 10 feet in, I knew it was over. I'm just kidding, he didn't say that last part, but he's probably thinking it. He says, when I think about getting married to you, this morning, I decided I didn't want to. And I'm like, damn, he finally did it. He liberated himself from kiss audits, bad T-Rex runs, and even worse accusations. I was probably getting ready to crown this moment of freedom the oh my golly wally moment of the episode. But shortly after that, the tides started to turn. It was kind of like in those boxing movies where the bad guy gets knocked down and the good guy's already celebrating, but the referee still got to do that count. And he's like, 1, 2. The good guy's up there with his people, just put his hands up in the air and all that stuff. And then Chelsea got one knee up and then she got a hand on the rope. And then now she's back up and the referee's like, fighter, are you good? Chelsea gets up and goes to her corner and there are people out there squirting that water into her mouth and then she's swishing around with the blood and spits it into a little spit tank and they're putting a little Vaseline on her cheeks and they're like, you gotta watch for the left. You gotta watch for the left. Chelsea's like, I got this. She says, you can't throw in the towel because we had a bad night. And here I am on the couch like, girl, you had a bad relationship. But they can't hear me. Jimmy's got that look in his eyes. You know, like from Jungle Book when the snake puts that spell on Mowgli? Jimmy's like, I really want to try. And just like that, they're back together. Ugh. Then this nerd Chelsea's like, Jimmy, you really can't be dressing like that when I'm mad at you. You look so good. What? When you're mad at him? Like, the Lulu. This was your moment to be like, babe, I'm so sorry I overreacted last night. You weren't gone for that long. I had no reason to accuse you of being with Jess. And I shouldn't have told the whole world that you hooked up with one of your friends after you specifically told me not to. Nope. Instead, she says, hey, you gonna make me some cookies or what? Man, go ahead and bring Jessica out. This girl's a child. And I guess I'm about to give my wish because the last couple scenes of the episode are when all the couples get together at that lake house, but with some special guests from the pods. Watch this. So then the girls are playing some stupid ass game called the Scrunchie of Truth. Basically, whoever has the scrunchie has to tell the truth. What is this, a 4th grade sleepover? Like, y'all can't just tell the truth regular? Anyway, Laura has the scrunchie and they ask her, so where's Jeremy? And she's like, I don't know. And look at Amy getting some tea off. She's like, well, I heard he was with Sarah Ann last night. Laura confirms this, then does what I would call the oh my golly wally moment of the episode. This girl literally does this. Okay, first of all, there's no way that people still do this. How did this make it out of 99 to the 2000s? Second of all, who said that happened? These girls don't know the story. They're gonna believe whatever you're saying is true. You're literally wearing the scrunchie. I hate that I'm even playing on this stupid game. What makes you think he was getting that spit shine? People really just be saying anything. Then Hat Man shows up at the party and we find out that he hasn't seen Laura in about 4 days. Then we find out that she changed his name from fiance to Jeremy in her phone. Then Trevor shows up And Trevor, let me tell you something right now. No, let me stop. I said I'll get into it at the end of the video, and I'm gonna get into it at the end of the video. Okay, for the sake of this part of the video, I'm gonna act like I don't know what I know. But you all know what I know. Anyway, Trevor shows up, and Chelsea does the Jurassic Park sunglasses thing, which is more on brand than you could even realize. Then my homie Mackenzie pulls up with Jessica. This is literally the moment we've been waiting for since the first set of episodes, where Jimmy gets to see Jessica for the first time. But of course, it's already ruined because he saw her IG. I don't know why they don't bring the people from the pods like right there in the beginning at the DR. Is it more dangerous to relationships? Yes, but does it make for better TV? Also yes. Now Jimmy sees Jessica in real life, and I don't think any EpiPens were harmed in the filming of this scene. But still, anything could happen. I'm over here looking at the Josh wine like, oh, this shit about to get crazy. And this shit was not about to get crazy. Next up, Laura tells us that she took the ring off and that if Jeremy wants it back, he can go kick rocks barefoot.
So funny, girl.
Then we get that infamous sit down. Jimmy sitting with Jessica for the first time since they was in the pods. And it turned out that this scene had about as much spice as Ken Doll's cabinet. She's over there being cordial like, so how was it for Chelsea meeting your family? I know you're really worried about that. He's like, yeah, that part went really good. But after that, we had our biggest fight yet. Jessica's like, word? And Jessica ain't slick. I don't know if y'all caught this part, but Jessica was like, I want you to be good to her. She brings up giving him the letter and how his reaction wasn't what she was expecting. Then she tells him the day she found out that he told Chelsea that he loved her, she's never cried more a day in her life. Which, you've lived a good life. But the hyperbole doesn't stop there, ladies and gents. He tells her she's the smartest person he's ever met. This love train has a couple more stops before we get to our destination. She's like, I know I told you about the EpiPen, but I think I was gassing myself up a little too much. And I was actually the one that might have needed it because when I saw you, my heart was fluttering. I even put my hand out for the handshake and you went in for the hug. Jimmy says, I'm even nervous sitting here right now. You're still my number one. And I don't even know what any of that means. She tells him that he knows more about her than anyone else walking this planet. I don't even know how that's even possible. Boom! Episode 11. This one's called Roller Coaster of Love. We start here with AD finding out that Matthew looks like Clark Kent. And I hope that's just because they both ask a lot of questions. You know, because Clark Kent is a journalist. Look, this is just the kind of material we're working with this week. Then we get a taste of a little bit more drama because Alejandro shows up with Sarah Ann. And I know these people have real lives and they get to the events when they get to the events, but they really be staggering it like it's like the WWE. And I appreciate that. Anyway, you know Laura ain't here for none of that shit. She's like, ugh, I can't believe Sarah Ann had the audacity to show up here. Word, the audacity to show up to some place where she was invited to. Back over to Chelsea and Trevor talking about social media stalking. She's like, yeah, you only had one post, which, knowing what we know now, is powerful stuff. This fraud's asking her like, if I would have proposed first, would that have changed your mind? She's like, no, it wouldn't have. This idiot's like, you're just saying that, trying to look good for TV. And if anyone knows how to fake looking good on TV, no, we'll get to it. End of the video, cool. Then we get the Jimmy and Trevor bromance scene. Hey, get away from him, Jimmy. Chelsea then calls Amy and Johnny the strongest couple, which, of course, she's not wrong. But Jimmy's like, what the hell? You can't be saying that. She's like, no, babe, no, I'm just kidding. Why would I joke? Why would I say that? I'm just joking a little bit. We're obviously right is them, and then now we get the moment where Jeremy is talking to Laura. It's been 4 days, remember that. And she's not being passive aggressive at all. He's like, how's everything been? She's like, fine, just dandy. He lets us know that he asked for her address to send her flowers. She says that she politely declined. He says, no, you didn't. She's like, pull up the text. I'm fucking tired of you in this. I wonder who I believe. Laura's like, do you really think you came on this show with the maturity to get married? No, you didn't. Laura, did you? She tells him, I'll come by and get my stuff tomorrow. This dude, Stone Cold Steve Austin, says, I already packed it up. Yeah, he fried her. But this dude, the immature one, was like, hey, can we just be cool for a little bit here to not mess up the vibe of the party? Does Laura tell him you know what, you're right. Let's not mess it up for everyone else. No, of course not. She tells him he's not a man, he's not man enough for her, and he never has been. Oh, word? He wasn't man enough when he proposed to you? When you said yes? What gender were you saying yes to? You must have liked it. Oh, and I'm not trying to derail the review here, but I just have a quick question, just like a quick cue. Is anyone going to talk about the fact that Laura is kicking and screaming about Sarah Ann DMing her man, while at the same time, Laura is condoning almost that same exact behavior from Jessica to Chelsea? Is it just me? Anyway, then Laura digs deep inside her bag of insults and pulls out the same exact one. And she tells him to kick rocks with open-toed shoes. Girl, it wasn't funny the first time. Also, you're telling him he's not a man, yet you're using the insults they was using on Even Stevens? Yeah, I don't know nothing about no Even Stevens. Anyway, then Laura goes complaining to Jess about him. Jess is like, you want me to go beat his ass? Jessica, shut up. You probably go over there and make out with him. This next scene is worthy of the deepest sigh I could even sigh. I don't even have enough oxygen right there to sigh how I really needed to sigh. This is where Sarah Ann is in detention with AD of all people for DMing Jeremy. AD's really out here pretending to be the host of the show. She's like, well, I saw the DM. Do you think that was appropriate? Sarah Ann's like, yeah, I think the DM was actually fine considering I didn't fight for him in the pods. I was just letting him know that if you have thoughts, let me know. AD's like, I saw the DM. Sarah Ann's like, bitch, I wrote the DM. This whole interaction is so annoying. Like, who is AD to be challenging Sarah Ann? Why isn't Laura sitting down with Sarah Ann? Either way, Sarah Ann confirms what Jeremy said, that nothing inappropriate happened at the Lost and Found night. Now, could they both be lying? Yes, of course. We've learned, if anything, that everybody could be lying on this show. AD name probably not even AD. The whole thing is nuts. Sending a vague DM to your ex really wasn't that crazy. Plus, she didn't invite him out to Lost and Found, and when he pulled up at Lost and Found, she iced him. It was only Jeremy going out of his way to like make her talk. I don't know. I just couldn't understand what AD was doing. I really wonder what AD would have said if Sarah Ann was like, AD, what about you? Your man's basically begging you to realize that he's gonna cheat on you. How you feel about that? I ain't even really trying to all the way be that guy, but the woman who calls herself a fix-a-hoe and a walking red flag, you're the one that wants to tell someone else how to move? Okay. Check this out though. See, if this was like a real show, like Bad Girls Club, this standing up move would have been instant hands. They don't make shows like they used to. Anyway, then Jeremy throws a football and it hits Laura and she calls him a 13-year-old. Blah. Sarah Ann and Jeremy go talk privately. She's crying about the bullying she's receiving, which is true, and he tells her that he thinks he made the wrong decision in the pods. At the end of this sit down, they're like, so what do we do now? And he's like, I don't know. You want to ride some jet skis? Listen, right in the middle of this freaking powwow, these fools get on these jet skis, look like they're having the time of their lives. I ain't never seen Jeremy happier a day in his life. This dude looking like a Make-A-Wish kid. Okay, now a couple boring scenes before we get to dress and tuxedo shopping, which was also boring. All right, Jimmy and Chelsea are ice sculpting. No notes. That happened. AD and Clay are designing shoes. Clay says that AD makes him smile all the way from the left side to the right side. I don't know what that means. Good job, Clay. AD says that when they get married, she's quitting everything to paint shoes. Clay's looking around like, quitting what? Then we get the Amy and Johnny scene where she's telling him she'd like to hyphenate her last name. Johnny's like, look, babe, if you just get on birth control, I'll take your last name. All right, I'm just kidding. But it looks like Johnny has finally learned what a vasectomy is, and that's good for everybody involved. I think he thought it was just like taking the Flintstones vitamins and taking a long nap. Damn, this episode's so boring. I gotta talk about how cute my favorite dog looks sleeping. All right, we are tuxedo shopping with Nick Lachey. We got Clay with his boys, Joe Budden and Josh. Johnny's got a friend. Jimmy brought some of his boys from South Carolina. You see one of them is really just Matthew, disguised as Matthew. Then over to the dresses with Vanessa Lachey. Chelsea brought her sister, and her friend. Her mom actually dials in on FaceTime. And this is what happens at a second wedding. This mom probably was like, girl, fool me once. Hit me on the FaceTime. I'll show up at the ceremony, but we're not doing this again. And I think Chelsea said that she got her first dress on eBay for $100. That's crazy. AD brought her 2 sisters and her niece. Here go her first dress. I hope the people at the factory know they're gonna need some extra fabric for that thing. Anyway, she breaks down crying like Eva Mendes in Hitch. All right, here go dress 2, which I think went harder. But what do y'all think about the words on the veil? Are we cool with that? I'm not cool with it, but I would like to see what y'all think. Amy brought her mom and she fell in love with the first dress that she tried on. Amy's mom is talking pretty much all in Spanish, and these girls are nodding their head like they're reading the subtitles too. Overall, Amy's mom is very nice and seems super happy for her daughter. Okay, last scenes of the episode, good riddance. We get those last little dates. AD and Clay with that bouquet of candy, then their little rooftop dinner. Amy and Johnny at that campfire with the green flames like from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 1. Then Jimmy and Chelsea at Carowinds. And if you didn't know this scene right here, those 2 lines in the middle separate North and South Carolina, which is very symbolic because they are quite literally in 2 different worlds. The episode ends with Jimmy realizing that he's not sure if Chelsea plans to say yes at the altar. After all that. Boom! And that's episodes 10 and 11. They're just as boring as I told you they were. I mean, there was a couple moments, but overall, I think we're losing people with the show. And I think a lot of that is because of all this outside the show drama that we're getting unfolding on social media, which I'm about to get into right now, just like I promised you. Now, all I can tell you is what I know during the recording of this video, and I'm in the future and the past, so maybe you know this stuff, maybe you don't, but I'm just gonna go through it really quick. Okay, first up, we got Jimmy. A woman goes on TikTok and tells the whole world that she couldn't believe she woke up one day and saw her boyfriend on Love is Blind. Now, she doesn't say Jimmy's name, but she describes this person as making a connection with a girl on there that has a child. We know that Jessica is the one with the child, and she only had a connection with Jimmy. Jimmy goes on record by saying he's never met this girl, never heard of this girl, blah, 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 blah. This girl comes back and says, yes, that video was an incredible marketing ploy to profit off of his name. At that point, the video had amassed over 16 million views. I hate it here. Next up, we have Amber, not AD, the other Amber. Allegedly, she had a whole boyfriend the whole time she was on the show. Now, we were led to believe that she went home because of the deception of Matthew. No. Apparently, that's when she agreed that she would leave. Like the agreement she made with her boyfriend. Like her boyfriend told her, like, hey, you should leave at this. Moving on to Jeremy, the Dark Knight, aka Hatman. This fellow had a whole entire fiance when he applied for the show. Remember when he told us about that house that he sold and then he was going to get a new place? Yeah, that house he lived with his fiance. Now, granted, he broke up with his fiance before they started filming the show, so cool. And Jeremy claims that everybody knew that he had a fiance, that they broke it all off. So he's saying he was being transparent. My only question is Netflix. You don't think you could find some singular singles than someone fresh off a divorce or like a wedding break off? Like the shit's still steaming. It's hot off the press. Netflix. All right, let's just get into the big one here. The not so incredible Hulk done played us all. If only I just stuck with my original hunch about this guy. Your best quality is your financial intelligence. You're 31 years old. All you've mastered is money? Anyway, without dragging this out, Trevor had a girlfriend the entire time he was on the show. Now, Trevor meets a girl. They start dating. Pretty shortly after that, he applies to go on Love is Blind. He doesn't know if this relationship is going to be lasting long or whatever. So he's like, let me just try this. Boom. They're still together throughout the process, They're getting more and more serious. She's like, well, I think you should still go on the show. He's like, yeah, I think I've been watching a lot of these past seasons and look at these guys' Instagram. It gets huge. This is going to be huge. Being a fitness influencer, babe, you got to let me do this. It's going to be huge for the both of us. When I get back from the show, I am going to marry you. This fool goes on Love is Blind and gaslights us into thinking he's a nice guy. This dude pulled the okiest of the dokiest on us. We should have known when this fool said his favorite movie was The Notebook. What were we thinking? 2 of his top 5 things were butterflies and rainbows? Am I an idiot? Anyway, you might be wondering, how do we even know all this? Well, when Trevor came back from the show, he did not marry said girlfriend. No. On the contrary, he broke up with her. And you know the slogan, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She aired this fool out with the velocity of 10 bottles of Febreze, fresh linen edition. Let me tell you the craziest part of this whole thing. As a matter of fact, this is an off-script, oh my golly wally moment, and y'all probably looking like, Tate, how could this get any worse? Listen, this ex-girlfriend of Trevor, our once gentle giant Trevor, she says that during the breakup, he told her if she leaked this very information, that he would do some leaking of his own. He said he would leak her intimate photos and videos to her entire family, including her son. Listen, it's all too much. Also, this is his ex. Imagine threatening her. I hope she beats his ass. I'm tired. That reunion better really be reunioning, because it was filmed last weekend, but all of this information was already out. So let's see if Nick and Vanessa do their job for the first time in history. Oh, let me do my little thing. As always, thanks for checking out Tate's Take. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, listen, we got a lot to talk about. So let's talk. Let's talk. Oh, I guess we could do predictions. We got 3 couples going to the altar. Amy and Johnny, Clay and AD, Jimmy and Chelsea. Who says yes? Who says no? Cool. We can talk about that as well. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. It's just too much, man. Ugh. It's why people lose faith in the show. Oh, you thought I forgot to mention how Kenneth's cousin called him gay? Or how Jessica was caught frolicking with Harry from Too Hot to Handle? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I forgot. Or how Trevor already filmed Perfect Match Season 2? Yeah. It's going to be an interesting reunion. And these people better show up. And here we are. We thought Matthew was our enemy. Matthew probably at home like, I ain't trying to attack. He's still catching strays. That's crazy.